Welcome back to the channel, my friends. On today's video, we're going to be looking at this exhaust fan on this range. The vent hood not working. I do have power here for the bulb, as you can see, but the fan does not work. So I have the grease filter pulled out. I was also able to remove the fan pull on the fan blade itself. It'll just pull off. It's just push fitted onto the motor over here. That'll expose the motor here. There's two wires going to the motor. We will go ahead and unscrew that motor from the frame. There's two screws, very small screws in the center. As you can see, one here, and I've removed both of them. They're tiny little screws, Phillips screws. Once those are off, you're able to pick the motor up and remove it from the frame. Motor removed. A couple tools that'll come in handy. I have a test light here. We can also use a multimeter if needed, but a simple test light will do the trick. So as far as the switch, this should be on, this should be off. So we'll go ahead and turn it on and check for power. The black wire on the motor in this case is power, and it looks like we are getting power. So if we turn the switch off, we have no power. With the switch on, we have power. So we definitely have power. The only other thing we need to check is the ground wire, making sure we have a good ground to where this wire leads. We can remove this cover if we have to. That's where it's grounded at. As far as your test light, you can ground it anywhere on the frame here on the metal. That's your ground. It's a 12-volt system. So now that we know our issue is on the ground side, I was able to remove this cover that was on the side. It was just held in by one screw right up here, and it pops open, and that'll give you access to the wires. Our white wire here coming in here, you can see the light circuit is also using the same ground, and which seems to work perfectly fine. I was able to check back here for ground, and we have ground there, but no ground at the motor itself. Now most likely the issue here is in line. You can see there's a plastic covering over it. Inside that plastic covering there is a thermal fuse. Most likely that has blown, and that's causing no ground. So basically no power to the motor, so it cannot run. Now this clear tubing, the covering that's over the wire, was taped to the motor. Again, it's a thermal switch inside, so we'll go ahead and remove clear covering off of this. Take a look at the thermal fuse that's inside of it. So with the clear covering removed from the wiring, I actually ended up breaking the thermal fuse that was in between the wire here. Again, most likely that was the culprit to begin with. But I have some new ones here to compare. This is what the piece looks like. It's just an inline thermal fuse. Now what I have here are some 129 degrees. I believe the original that's supposed to be in there is around 99 degrees. I could be wrong, but I have these. So I'll go ahead and get that put in line here in between, and we'll see if the motor works. So I was able to crimp our new thermal fuse in line on the ground side. That's where it was originally to begin with. And then we'll go ahead and slip this clear tubing over it and retape it back onto the motor. But before doing any of that, we'll go ahead and test it. If we flip the switch, you can hear our motor runs. So that thermal fuse was our issue. So let's get the rest of this buttoned up. So we have everything buttoned up. Fan is on. It's functional as it should be. Issue is solved. Now keep in mind, if you have vent fans, even up top. This particular camper doesn't have one here in the vent, but your bathroom fan sometimes will have that, and those will also have the inline thermal fuse. I will put links to the motors, other parts, just like these fuses, in the description for you, so please check the description for the parts used. So that's an easy fix. Now in your case, if the thermal fuse is not the issue is going to be the motor itself, which again, you already have it off. In that case, you could just replace the motor. Hopefully this video has helped someone out. I thank you for watching.